Every camera reviewer said that this has a major flaw. The forums agreed, and for a while, I did too. Then I actually shot with it, and I was completely wrong. The internet made its mind so fast, saying it's an APS-C sensor, or the crop factor kills your lens. On top of that, the low light being terrible. And don't even get me started about the rolling shutter. And what was everyone's response? Just save up for the FX3. These criticisms aren't completely wrong, but here's what nobody said. Everyone on these forums and the camera reviewers are comparing this camera to the FX3, which is more than twice as much as the FX30, and then acting surprised when the FX30 isn't as good as the FX3. To me, that isn't a fair fight and is not what this camera is. The Super 35 sensor is not a budget compromise. It's the same exact format that Hollywood's been shooting actual movies with for decades. And at 26 megapixels with dual base ISO, 800 and 2500, this camera handles real world light situations incredibly well. Events, documentaries, run and gun, even golden hour is what this camera was built for. And in those conditions, this camera does not let you down. And don't forget, you're also getting 4K at 120 frames per second on an $1,800 camera. And here's what gets buried on every single review. This camera has internal LUTs. And at this price point, that is insane. I used to need to have a monitor to actually display the LUT so I can actually do the exposure correctly when trying to shoot in log, but now having the FX30, it's built right into the camera and it's a huge convenience. Another thing the camera reviewers aren't talking about is the autofocus on this Sony camera. It's still the best in the business. And my personal favorite, the camera build is the exact same as the FX3, so you can rig out the whole setup. And if you do find out that this isn't enough for you or you need more, you can just upgrade the camera and take all the accessories you have for this camera and put them right to the new camera. So you're not getting a budget camera, you're actually getting a cinema camera that just so happens to cost less. The FX30 is under $2,000. The FX3 is nearly twice that amount. And that difference could buy you a new lens, a mic, or even a gimbal. Real gear that's gonna make your work better right now, not someday when you just save up for it. And you will see people shooting around with this camera doing paid professional work, and people thinking that it's really an FX3 because the footage is still that good. That's what this camera does when it's in the hands of someone that actually knows how to use it. Everyone was wrong about the FX30, and that's including me. Not because the criticisms aren't real, but because we were measuring the wrong thing. This isn't a budget FX3. This is a cinema camera that costs less than $2,000. Once you understand that, everything changes. So drop a comment. What are you shooting? I want to know if this camera makes sense for your setup. And if you want to see actual footage that's shot with this camera, check out this video.